Hi. Welcome to The Final Bill, the podcast that explores what it really costs to say goodbye, not just emotionally, but financially, socially, and economically. I'm your host, Pauline Kai, a student with deep passions about how terminal illness has shaped not just lives, but entire systems. Today's episode is called When the Diagnosis Costs More Than the Disease, because in many ways, the true burden of terminal illness isn't just about the disease itself. It's about the price that comes with it, on families, on healthcare, and on the economy. So, let's begin with, what are terminal illnesses? So, terminal illnesses are the conditions that cannot be cured and will eventually lead to death. So, this is between about some months or a few years. And some of the most well-known terminal illnesses that we will be exploring are Alzheimer's disease, late-stage cancer, or end-of-heart disease, or lung failure. So what is Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's is a common form of dementia that causes a brain disorder that usually impairs memory, thinking, or behavior. And in terms of cancer is uncontrolled cell growth that happens within an individual. And this, in terms of what we're going to explore, it's usually late staged. So according for Alzheimer's, which is a progressive brain disease, over 6.8 million Americans 65 or older in 2024 have it. And this is requiring a 24/7 care. And for cancer, it's diagnosed in late stages and usually spreads beyond treatment. And that's why it becomes terminal. So according to the American Cancer Society, there are over 609,820 people in the United States died from it in 2023, which is so highly unfortunate. Moving past the medical part of this, we're going to move on to the economic toll of these terminal illnesses. How does this impact economics? Terminal illnesses actually bring a massive cost burden with not only healthcare spending, but also caregiving, lost income, long-term institutional healthcare. To break this down a little bit, we'll explore how it affects healthcare spending. So according to Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which is also known as CMS, 25% of Medicare spending occurred in the last years of a person's life. So around $107 billion annually, just in the US. For caregiving costs, over 38 million Americans provide unpaid health care for older adults, often family members with Alzheimer's or cancer. So based on the AARP, that estimates for the unpaid labor is about $600 billion a year. And this is apparently still increasing, which we will be talking about later. And in terms of nursing homes and long-term health care, the average cost of kind of a semi-private nursing home in the room in the US right now is $94,000 per year, which obviously not many people can afford. It's and it's really impacting and limiting our ability to spend on healthcare costs. And Medicaid pays for only 62% of nursing home care. So in many states right now are struggling to keep it up. So let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's talk about the out-of-pocket medical expenses. So families affected by cancer, Alzheimer's, often spends tens of thousands of dollars out of their own pocket change. So in fact, in 2022, published by JAMA Network Open, it stated that over $9,000 it costs in the last year of life. So what are the current trends and long-term concerns right now? So we're facing what some economics call the silver tsunami, which is a growing aging population that's pushing healthcare systems to the brink. But I think by 2034, there will be more adults over 65 and children under 18 in the US. Obviously, to sum it up, it's not sustainable for the government, for healthcare workers, or families with this rising cost. So I think a lot of this stuff is we've talked a lot about the problems about this, but to be honest, this podcast isn't just about that. It's to talk about what can be done by individuals like us. So we will be exploring the potential solutions to that so that we can find hope and direction for us. So let's talk about the support for family caregivers. So there's this tax credits, paid family leave, and stipends for informal caregivers that could help relieve financial stress. These programs include Medicaid, cash, and counseling. Even though that's already in a lot of states right now, that's not all states. So a lot of families are going without this. And we can start investing in home-based hospice care. So investing early can help make home hospice care more cost effective than hospital-based end-of-the-life care and improves quality of life. So expanding Medicare coverage for home health, aids, and palatable care is key. So I know a lot of us are probably familiar with AI by now, which is artificial intelligence. And although artificial intelligence can have a lot of environmental concerns, it can, if used correctly, be used for medication tracking, remote monitoring, and companion robotics, which could lower staffing shortages and costs in elder care. So another area to explore, I think, is health literacy and early planning. So I think it's important that some people know early hand, what to do, how to interact. So educating families on advanced directives, power of attorney, and palatable care can prevent costly and unwanted treatments. So one study that I found was that it showed that patients with clear end-of-the-life plans had 36% medical costs in their final growth. I think that pretty much sums some of the potential solutions that you can do. Of course, there is a lot more. So this is my advice for others. If you're a student like me, a young person watching this, or just somebody who has a loved one going through this, here are 3 things that you can do. You can talk with your family early. Encourage honest conversations about wishes, finances, and plans. Support caregiver rights. So advocate for those better policies at your school, local government, or the youth organizations. So another thing to do is stay informed. Even the smallest awareness efforts this podcast, for example, can shift how we approach the economics of illnesses. So I would like to close this off. So I think the truth is that we're all going to face the final bill at some point. So whether that's for ourselves, our parents, or someone we love. My grandpa died of cancer actually in 2019, and unfortunately, because he was in a different country, we weren't able to pay for better healthcare supports. And so we're fighting right now. With the right systems, the right policies, and a little more compassion, the cost of goodbye doesn't have to destroy lives. So thank you so much for listening to episode 1. I hope you found this helpful or moving. Please follow, like, and share, and leave a review. But I think the most important part about this podcast is interaction. So if you have somebody that you love is going through this and you would like to share it, feel free to email me, leave a message, leave a comment, or anything you want to ask. Leave a comment, leave a message, leave an email, etc. And I will be there to support you and respond as soon as possible. Next week, we'll be talking about hospice or bankruptcy, an inside look how families are forced to choose between comfort and cost. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of the person you love.